Duneda, Huida, Hundit. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because the reigning, the defending, the undisputed, the #1 ranked team in the world, the Amaboku Boku, will be heading to Cardiff. The invasion fleet will be heading there to claim another scalp for the glorious trophy cabin of Dr. Rassie Erasmus this weekend. And, you know, everybody knows me. I am a proud, very, very proud Welshman. And it breaks my heart to see the old North Welsh players losing the unwinning streak. 11 will be extending to 12 this weekend. And, you know, it breaks my heart a little bit to see all the fans leaving early in last week's game. And, you know, I'm sure there's a lot to do in Cardiff. And, you know, you gotta get out there and do some other stuff, you know, enjoy the, you know, I don't know, the leisure centre that has a bunch of sheep in it or something. I don't know what you do in Cardiff, something like that, I guess. And, you know, it is, you know, I don't blame them. It's just much better thing to do than watch the Welsh Rugby Union, watch Warren Gatland, brilliant kicking game that's on display, and the lack of consistency in the team. And yeah, there's obviously big talks about Warren Gatland's contract. It's funny because at the Rugby World Cup, people were asking, are you committed to Wales? An Eddie Jones question, which Warren Gatland replied, is that an Eddie Jones question? And he said he was committed. And now I think a lot of people are probably regretting asking him that question, because he's signed to 2027, a 4-year contract, and he is currently not expecting to quit anytime soon, despite the losing streak and poor results. Now, I gotta, you know, kind of, you know, play devil's advocate a little bit. Gatland is, you know, former Lions coach, put Wales on the map when he was under management, and even when he took over from Wayne Pivek, despite the really poor performances that was heading into the Rugby World Cup, he did put Wales through to the quarterfinals. And, you know, it's not it is, you know, flogging the Wallabies and all that was not, he did do a much better job than what Eddie Jones had accomplished with the Wallabies, given pretty much similar situations, you might argue worse situations than what Eddie Jones had with Rugby Australia, in terms of availability of talents and so on and so forth. So Warren Gatland is definitely working towards, you know, working with his hands tied behind his back. And I think if give him in time, he might be able to come up with something. And at this point, you got to also kind of like think as well. You get rid of Warren Gatland, who is actually going to be replacing him. That's going to deliver you a better result, right? Like it's not just like, oh, let's just get rid of him. Who are you going to bring in that can potentially actually going to deliver you, you know, something that's better than what he's delivering right now. You may argue that his decision, like I've argued that his decisions of leaving players at home in the July Test series, core players at home, has left the team with a lack of consistency. But again, that's a short-term vision opposed to like a long-term plan, which Gatland is working towards. And you know, the one thing you have to understand about Warren Gatland is that he's a very competitive guy. He's been in the coaching business for decades, and he's, you know, a Lions coach. He's not here to just milk some money from Wales Rugby Union. When the team doesn't perform, he's probably, he will be the most disheartened person in the entire entire Wales in that matter. He really takes these things seriously, and he's probably up there a bit in the age. He's 61 years of age, and you know, people might say that he's probably just not as sharp as he used to be, but I think that's probably a little bit of a I don't think that's an issue when it comes to being a coach for international test matches. And so with that being said, the Springboks had made a bit of a late change to the front rowers. Ox and Che, scrums can't win, salads can't win scrums. Has been pulled out because he had like a cut on his leg. It's not really a big issue, but Rassie is just like, probably be fine just to still win the game without him. Rassie has come out, sort of back Gatland as a great coach, and he's still very firm in believing that the Springboks will want to win this one, will not want to let it up. But a lot of respect from Dr. Rassie to his rival, and we'll have to see how this is going to go. In terms of history between the two teams, it's actually quite interesting because despite the dominance of South Africa over the Welsh, Wales have put up an upset in recent times under Rassie Erasmus in 2022, where they beat Wales for the first time in South Africa 12 points to 13, and that was the game where Gareth Anscombe came onto the field and broke up the game, achieved the win, something that Dan Biggar was not able to do so with the stalemate with the kicking game. So Gareth Anscombe is going to be a bit of an X factor again this game. His performances the last couple of weeks was not really great, but he's definitely got the talent. He's come back from an injury. Maybe with the game time that's kind of under his belt so far, he can pull up something a little bit more special this weekend. And he's done it before. He's brought Wales to historic win in South Africa for the first time, and this is not a complete out of the question. In Cardiff at home with all the fans leaving early last week, the Welsh team might put up a much more spirited display this weekend, and we know that when the Welsh team put on a spirited display, we saw it in the Six Nations, they can kind of compete with just about any team in the world, especially especially if the opposition takes them lightly as an easy win. The referee on this weekend is going to be the Englishman, Mr. Carl Dixon. And I think he's a much better referee than he was before. I talk about this every week. I don't think he will favor either team. I think he'll be pretty clinical around the rocks. And we'll have to see about his scrum interpretations, because sometimes I think he's a little bit he doesn't quite reward the dominance at times. Well, I think when deservingly should have been given. Other than that, I think Carl Dixon is quite a decent referee overall. Much better than he was a few years ago, to be honest. The weather in Wales, it's going to be really cold on Friday, and then literally 0 degrees on Saturday. It's going to be rain. There's a rainfall warning. Cardiff does have a roof, but no doubt it's still going to get wet, and there might be a possibility the roof gets jammed, doesn't close properly, and you're just going to have a patch of wet pool in the middle of the field. I think it's fixed, but I just say I don't know whether the weather is going to be a factor this weekend. Okay, that's pretty much what I'm going to say, but at least it's going to be a bit warmer on Saturday. Not going to be freezing temperatures on Friday, so that's a positives for, I guess, all the fans in attendance. Not going to be freezing to death watching this match. So yes, let's have a look at the men who have been given the privilege to show their guts for their nation this weekend. Coming number 1 for Wales, Gareth Thomas. Number 2, Lewis Lake. And number 3, Archie Griffin. For the Welsh props. They actually did a decent job against the Wallabies last week, albeit without Tupou. The Wallabies scrum has never really been looking that great. Never really looked good without Tupou. And but yeah, I think the Springboks a bit of a step up. But then again, Springboks has made changes in the entire front row, and this could be a bit of a question mark of how this is going to go. So Thomas du Toit has moved into number 1 position. I'm pretty sure du Toit is a tight head prop, right? I'm pretty sure can he play both? But so du Toit is at number 1. Coming number 2, Johan Huebler. At number 3, Wildkard. No, I'm pretty sure du Toit is a loose head prop. I'm pretty sure he's a loose head prop. Anyway, this new front row here for the Springboks. All these guys are top performers in the club rugby, so we have to see how this is going to go. And it's a bit of a question mark, but I don't foresee surprises from the Welsh side to upset the scrum like they kind of did against the Wallabies last week. But we'll see how this goes. The question is Johan Huebler's line-out throw. Will that be disrupted against because of obviously lack of game time under the belt for the Springboks? Might play a bit of an issue when it comes to those lineouts consistency. Coming in number 4, Will Rowlands for Wales. Number 5, Chris Twinsa with Adam Beard injured. I think this is probably a better combination than Adam Beard anyway. Adam Beard hasn't really delivered for my likings recently for Wales anyway. Number 4 for the Springboks, John Clang has been caught up to the starting position, and number 5, Franco Mostert returning for the Springboks, an absolute monster for the Springboks. So this will be a tough locks matchup against for the Welsh. Coming number 6 for Wales, James Spothen in the blindside flanker position, and Jack Morgan retains that open side flanker at number 7, and finally at number 8, TM Plumtree for Wales. Again, I think the Welsh loose forwards are a little bit weak. Without Wainwright, this is another just question mark of how this is going to go for the Welsh team. Yeah, I mean they have so many talents leaving in a huge batch at the before and after the Rugby World Cup. It is. Warren Gatton has left with a huge hole to fill in some of these key positions here. Sia Khaleesi, the captain, comes in open side flanker for the mighty Springboks. Number 7, Ulrich Low for Springboks, and number 8, Jasper Visa returns to that big role in the number 8 jersey. In the backline now, big changes in the 9-10 combination for the Springboks. Jaden Hendrickse and Jordan Hendrickse, the brothers coming in next, playing side by side. I'm pretty sure last time Jordan played was in the July Test series. I think it was against Portugal. It was against Portugal. Yeah, I think was it Portugal? Yeah, it was Portugal. In that match against Portugal, I thought he was okay. This is a bit of a step up ahead of Portugal against Wales, but he's very talented. A lot of you guys have said his performance in club rugby has been quite outstanding, so we'll have to see how he goes this week against Wales. Ellis Bevan coming number 9 for Wales, and number 10, Sam Costello, gets caught up in the starting position. Costello has been, not quite as good, I think, as he was in the Six Nations so far in November, and I think it'll be interesting to see which one of these number 10 kind of rises to the occasion and takes the game by the horns, so to speak. Coming in number 11 now, Rio Dyer for Wales. He has missed out for a couple weeks now, I think, and it's back this week at 11. Number 11 for the Springboks, the big guns has been put to work. The Curdy Adams. Number 12, Ben Thomas for Wales, and number 13, Max Willen as for the Welsh. I thought they were okay last week. Without Tompkins, I don't know. I just feel like they lacked a little bit of line break abilities without Tompkins there. But let me know your thoughts there for the Welsh 12 and 13 combination. For the Springboks, an absolute power, the World Cup winning combination, the best center combination in the world right now. Damien De Linda, number 12, power, defense, everything you want. He's got it. Jesse Krill, Mr. No Day Off, again, power, speed, ball handling skills, everything you want. The rush defense, everything is just absolutely impeccable. Top of the class, absolute pinnacle of rugby centers right now is Jesse Krill. And number 14, Tom Rogers for Wales. And the big guns are also back here for Springboks, Chesil and Kobe at number 14. Finally, number 15, Blair Murray for Wales. And for the Springboks, Apalele Farsi, another guy who's been stepping into the Springbok jersey and delivered massive results for Rassie Erasmus so far this year. Especially his performances this year has been absolutely outstanding. Better than he was last year by a lot. And again, with the selections, with Apalele Farsi, Cheslin Kobe, and Curdy Alonso, and Jasper Visa, are we going to see a bit more kicking game this time? Are we going to see some high ball strategies out of the Springboks? And we have to see, without Dan Bigger to manage the kicking game, I think the Springboks could probably just play the kicking game and get away with it, even if he wasn't as accurate as they like to be. In the back line now, in the reserves, the Springboks has again loaded up the bench with just absolute bomb squad experience and power. So coming in number 16 for Wales, Ryan Elias. Number 17, Nicky Smith, and number 18, Kieran Asirati. For the Springboks, number 16, Malcolm Marks. Number 17, Gurg Astinenkamp. And number 18, Big Vinny Koch is to finishing off the scrummaging should there be any issues at the start. Number 19, Freddie Thomas for Wales. Number 20, Tommy Raphael. Number 19, Evan Esbeth, Mr. Enforcer, and is fast and approaching one of the highest capped player in the world. And number 20, Achir Sneeman comes in for the Viking for the Springboks. Number 21, Rodri Williams for Wales as a halfback reserve. For the Springboks, a proud moment. Lots of Bulls fans will be cheering for this. The potential debut for Cameron Hannencombe, who's been outstanding for the Bulls in the URC. And a number 21 jersey. And number 22, James Eddy, massive young center for the Welsh. Number 22 for the Springboks is Kobus Reinach, speed around the rocks, will be coming off the bench. And finally, number 23, George Halloway for Wales. And the Springboks, the bomb squad king, the guy that diffuses just any situation for the Springboks, Mr. Handre Pollard will be coming off a number 23 jersey to basically fix up any sort of issues that is lacking, whether it's goal kicking, whether it's kicking game, whether it's running game, whether it's defensive issues, anything that you need from him, he will deliver for the Springboks. Just the Rassie Rasmus has the backup plan on the bench to make sure that the game, don't get derailed. And the Rassie has shown a lot of confidence in Jaden Hendrickson. And he will be. I think that this will be a good test for him and his brother in the 9-10 combination. So my prediction this game, I think that the Springboks will win this one quite comfortably. I don't want to sound too bad, but I reckon it's probably going to be like 50 points to like 10 or something, maybe 50 points to 12. It's going to be a bit of a one-sided affair for the Springboks. But let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys for the reviews this weekend. Cheers.